Blizzard warnings out, entire northeast US, Saharan dust cloud coming in through the southern states. Yeah, it's going to be one of those types of weeks. Got your blizzard warnings here. Intense effects of where we can see in that orange tapering off into the pinks as we get further up around Rochester, Utica. It's going to taper off a bit, but the chilling cold shall stay there. So this blizzard warning here off max velocity covers Maryland, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maine, and Rhode Island. Some areas as high as 70-mile-an-hour winds and at least a foot of snow. The power outages here forecast are going to be widespread in the areas of pink, but that overlays with the highest snowfall totals of around a foot. 70-mile-an-hour winds is an offshore spinning monster as well. Hanging just off coast, bringing all that moisture in. Numerous power outages along these same warning areas. And as we look out at the snowfall accumulations here, even though it said 11 inches in those warnings, some areas are looking up to about 25, 28 inches, which is eclipsing 2 feet. So, the warnings and what we're seeing for possibilities of accumulations, different model runs with different effects. Anyway, just stay incredibly vigilant. This is the end of the winter type of madness that we're experiencing. And bringing you out a few days from now into the 25th of February, almost 60 degrees Celsius below zero in that strawberry colored. And that cold front is going to extend all the way down to where the blues are. This is at 500 millibars, hectopascals, about 18,000 feet. So this is going to reflect on the ground, but you can see where the boundary edge of the cold, very cold, and then back to normals is going to be. If we jump forward into March 6th, and if we jump forward to March 6th, it's going to warm up to 50 degrees Celsius below zero. And you can still see those different edges of cooling that will reflect on the ground temperatures. Still a little bit of winter left for many. And the snow forecast, Ben Knoll over at the Washington Post put in this one out. March is going to see above average snowfall anywhere in the green, dark green. It looks like the western parts of Canada and the U.S. going to be well above normal. Everywhere else, a snow drought. So the Northeast just going to get their last wisps of flurries, blizzard, before it kind of just tapers off into nothingness. Also from the Washington Post, the coldest winter in decades. But this is so interesting the way it's split into the record coldest and the record warmest and how many decades it's been the coldest. This is a really interesting map to dive into. Look at that, Northeast U.S., it's been the coldest in 20 plus years, a couple decades. And the lighter it gets, the closer in on time it is, 5 to 10 years, how the cold it's been. But we go way down to Miami. Remember, they had freezes all the way down into Cuba. But the overall winter temperature is not just a single day event. Same would be out in the West where they're having a snow drought, except for select areas like Tahoe, getting 7 feet of snow and all the avalanches occurring everywhere. Jumping over to the European Union, this is Copernicus coming out with their satellite data sets. Think European Space Agency. Most of Canada and the U.S. experienced very strong cold stress in January. So they got these feel-like temperatures, and look how far down into Mexico and the Yucatan Peninsula, it felt like it was right at freezing. And the lighter the green, the colder the temperatures, the darker it is, the warmer it is on this map here. I bet if they would have kept that going down into Central America, we could have gotten some bone chillers as well. But I think these Pacific temperatures are going to be a little bit different with this rocking off the chart UV pegged at 18 on the UV index, which is, wow, you put your hand in the sun and it burns like you see in some of those 1950s science fiction movies on the moon. And staying with another snapshot from the European Union, Copernicus, Scotland covered with snow, February 17th. The Highlands, what an epic view here. And if you can see Edinburgh way down at the bottom at that almost 5 o'clock position. The rules of money are being rewritten right in front of your eyes. The institutions that control the financial system aren't waiting, warning, or wishing. They're acting. They're buying gold and silver in an unprecedented pace. Seems they're preparing for something. The question is, are you? For nearly a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of people protect their wealth with physical gold and silver. As the world shifts to hard assets, the window to act is closing. So let Noble Gold show you how simple it is to protect yourself and your family. While everyone else is reacting to the news, Noble Gold clients are positioned. They understand that when the rules change, you need assets that don't depend on the system. Visit 2030gold.com and download your free wealth protection kit today. That's 2030gold.com. The rules are changing. Make sure you're ready. And the February bonus for new qualified accounts, the 3-ounce American Virtues Independent Silver Round. Again, that's 2030gold.com. Click on that link in the description box below. Then if we go south of Scotland and we get over into Europe, the same thing. That incredible diametric opposite from Western Europe to Eastern Europe. You look at Spain, Portugal, France, all-time record floods, just it still hasn't stopped. And then if you jump over to North Africa, Morocco area, getting years worth of rain in just a few single weeks. But then if you go over places that are Poland, Latvia, this sort of area, Lithuania, just incredible record cold, just sea ice events that they haven't seen in quite some time. Brutally cold down near the Black Sea, incredibly flooded over in the western part of Europe. So again, you get that one area is far warmer than another, one area is far cooler than another. Speaking of clouds, what do you think this beautiful microscope is full of? Saharan dust. Of course, you answered correctly, you geniuses out there. Saharan dust, mineral dust from Sahara Desert. Dust particles contain sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, iron, cobalt, copper, potassium, sulfur, and calcium. Saharan dust provides marine bacteria, phytoplankton with important nutrients, as well as our soils. Galaxies for you, very similar, not under the microscope. They're too big, but micro, macro, that's how our universe works. So let's talk about Saharan dust for a moment here. European eyes on Earth. Copernicus giving us this one again. This brings us to the 26. Optical depth. I mean, how much it blocks out sunlight. The higher it goes on the reds, the more dust there is in the air in the column. Per cubic centimeter, how much dust is contained in that. And one way to measure it, and then you can look at the nanometer wavelengths here at 500 nanometers, blocking of what you consider sunlight. Okay, we'll take a look at it in different ways to measure the thickness and the grittiness of the air, for a better term. Red is higher, blocking out more sunlight. That is going to swing up through Spain, and they already have some unusual clouds going on there. They're calling it Saharan dust. That's already bringing in this sort of milky haze into the skies, preceding the front there. This was on the 17th, bringing us through the 18, 19, and 20. And you can see how the dust is traveling northward, as well as that spreads north, it is moving westward. So TNT, that's Trinidad and Tobago, and they're also putting out with their weather forecast about what they're expecting. Now, as it smashes into the Brazilian rainforest, it is going to take a hard dogleg right and go right up through Cuba. But then the second wave comes directly off. You can see that strawberry hanger just off the edge there coming toward us. So goes east. That's another satellite that takes a look at these different aerosol concentrations, significant concentrations of Saharan dust. That is even further north than what the models were showing. It's bringing you over to Null School, showing you the current conditions. Again, they're using 550 on the nanometers here for the particulate concentrations. Already has that landing into Trinidad and Tobago and South America, and it's going to be moving northward as well. You can see that second wave, that really light whitish coming off of, looks like Ghana and Togo, that area, and That will be considered wave 2. And since the winds are incredibly strong across Europe, expect more of the yearly dusting. If you look on January 26th, just straight up off of Africa into Greece, wow, that would have been the darkened skies for sure. So we'll see where the dust actually moves, because down in the Caribbean, it was forecast to come north, and then other models are showing that it stays down there and then curves further south. So again, these are just model runs, and I thought I'd bring them to you because that dust, a lot of people are sensitive to it. It creates a lot of allergies. And, this time of the year, if you're in, I don't know where you are, but our buds are starting to come out already on the trees, plum trees, starting to throw a tiny bit of leaf already. So I know the blooms and blossoms are just behind that. And, that time, and especially with the pine trees, with all the pollen and everything, it's just one of these times to get ready for allergies and that sort of thing. But the Saharan dust every year does in millions and millions of people getting them sneezing, coughing. So the earlier the warning on when that's arriving, the better. So take precautions the way you will. And I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Keep your family safe. And since it is spring, think about spring planting. True Leaf Market, heirloom organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. Every purchase you make helps support the channel here. That link's in the description box below. buymeacoffee.com/civilization cycle. So I can pound down the double espressos, searching for more slides just like these. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time. Please share this with your friends and families. Take the link from the video, share it through the social media. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.